Hello out there, comic book lovers. It is Friday. So you know what that means. I'm doing my Friday night reviews. I am going to take three comics from the previous Wednesday, so the three what I thought were the best, and do a review of them. And then I'm going to take the one that I liked the least. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad, but it's the one that I liked the least. And check it out. And welcome back to Friday Night Reviews, Thursday night edition. Like I said before, I usually shoot these on Thursday nights and then just have them posted on Fridays, but I figured, why not? Let's just do them today. So let's move on to the second best book of this week. And I don't know. This next book, we've seen this story before. In fact, we've seen every story before. There's only a certain amount of stories you can tell. It's just a different version of each story. You know, you get, like 6 or 7 different types of stories. There's just different versions of it. Now, this one is the post-apocalyptic story where you have the one hero who is just the absolute badass, who has a certain set of rules they do not break. They live by this code, and it's worked for them this whole time. And then for some reason, something happens where they decide to break those rules, change the way they do things, and then absolutely bad things happen to them because they changed the rules. We've seen it before, right? Now, this one, in this case, this is Nocterra #1, published by Image Comics, written by Scott Snyder. I've enjoyed a lot of his stuff, except for the last 8 or 9 different versions of the whole, Dark Universe things by DC. I read the first couple of them; they're pretty good. Everything after that, but figured I'd give this a chance. So it is written by Scott Snyder. Tony S. Daniels does some of the other work. Tomeu Mori does other stuff, and then World Design is everything else. So you have Denver, Colorado. Then they ask the questions: where were you when a certain thing happened? We all remember when certain things happened. You remember where they were. The Kennedy assassination in '63. I have an alibi for that, by the way. I wasn't born. It was, 5.5 years later when I was born. The Challenger explosion, Reagan's assassination attempt, 9/11. You all remember. So you have this one young girl explaining where, her history. She was born in Central America, and she had cataract problems. She couldn't see. She was adopted by this nice family. They gave her that could afford surgery. She corrected her vision. So it's her 2 adoptive parents, and the other kid that they adopted. So they're hanging out in school, and then all of a sudden, boom! This meteor comes in, and sends the world into darkness, and they call it 13 p.m. So she grew up in a world of darkness, got her vision back, boom, back into a world of darkness. Now, this world of darkness caused animals, including humans, because humans are animals, to mutate, to become kind of zombie-like creatures, because this is an alternate form of a zombie story. And the only way to keep from changing is being in the light. All right? So we jump forward. I don't know. Doesn't say. She was in grade school at the time. Now you have her at this age. So it's, 10, 15, 20 years. And she has become a trucker. Or what is referred to as a... Anyway, she's a trucker that moves people from one outpost to another. Cities have been destroyed. The only cities that are left are ones that had light. Like there's one city they describe in there, one of the big manufacturers, I think it's in Cleveland, that produced light bulbs, and they're having a big celebration of the light bulbs production in the city when it happened. And that's what allowed this town to survive and keep from being overrun by the different zombies. So you have different cities that are outposts, and this lady, she moves people from city to city. It is her job to move them there and protect them. So she's there. She's got this whole group of people in the back of her truck, and they get attacked. What does she do? She protects them. So she's talking to somebody on the radio like a trucker would, and she uses her flares and stuff to protect her group, and fights the people off, and finally gets to where she's going. This nice, well-lit city, so they are protected. That's what her job. She gets hired to do this. And when she gets there, she goes up to this cage to get paid and says, I want another job. The lady there says, oh, by the way, no, someone wants to talk to you. You aren't going out on the road. You are, you're done. And one of the people that she had just driven from point A to point B comes up to her and says, look, I want to hire you again to take me to this place north of the border or north of the line, which is places they don't go. And she's like, yeah, no, I only do large groups of people. And this guy says, look, see, sunburn. I have a sunburn. That means there's light. This is the great place to go. We're protected. You get me there, I'll pay you, and I'll let you stay there so you're protected. And she's like, yeah, no, I don't break my rules. Remember, we go back to the, I have rules. I want to do certain things a certain way. And she leaves, goes sees her brother. Remember, she had the adopted brother who created all the different weapons for her to protect, the people she was driving. And it turns out that he had snuck out at night and got infected. So she needs to find a way to get to someplace to protect her and her brother, and goes back to Dude and says, all right, let's do it. And they leave, only to find out after they leave. Well, they don't find out, but the people in town find out after they leave. Some dude comes in his armor and says, "Oh, I'm looking for Val." That is her name. Yeah, she's carrying the guy that caused this whole thing, and we need to do something about that. We need to get a hold of her. Really good book. It's one of those things where you're just like, who do you believe? Do you believe the guy that says, I can get us safe, get us over here? Oh, and she says, if I'd known then what I knew now, I wouldn't have done it. So it's kind of a past tense type thing. So you're leaning towards maybe this guy is an asshole. Maybe he was a bad type of person. Maybe the guy at the end is right. Or maybe the guy at the end is part of the problem. I don't know. This is a really great story. And Scott Snyder is back to true form now. Back to doing the stuff he did, like with Witches and his original stuff, as opposed to the last few versions of, what do you call it? The whole DC stuff, which I kind of pissed me off. So I'm going to give this a 3.75 out of 5. And say, if you like post-apocalyptic Mad Max type zombie type stuff, which is, I guess, is kind of a way that I can describe this, pick it up. If you don't like it, fine. But I'm thinking if you like some of the same stuff I do, you like this. So if you've read it, let me know in the comments below. If you haven't read it, pick it up. And then tell me later whether I steered you wrong or not. Either way, like, subscribe, and enjoy your comments.